show. Tonight, I'm talking football. I've got my week 14 recap for you. So go ahead, put your headphones on and relax. Alright, how's everybody doing tonight? Tonight's bubbly flavor. Tonight's bubbly flavor. Bubbly flavor is lime. On the tab it says, "Oh, hi." And on the side of the can it says, "I feel like I can be open around you." Alright, so before I get into the week 14 recap, I gotta say, I just gotta take a second to say thank you so much to everyone. We hit 10K a couple days ago, and that's like the first big like milestone. So, I can remember back when I started making videos, like wishing that I just had 10K. I'm like, I can't wait till I get 10K. Can't wait till I get 10K, and now I got it. So, we're on to the next one now. So I just wanted to take a moment and just say thank you to all of you who are subscribed to me, who tune into the videos. I really appreciate it, and we're just getting started, okay? I have a special video planned that I'm going to be working on here the next couple of days, so I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for the future of this channel, and we're going to grow together. I can't wait for 100K, and then I can look back and think, man, where I was at 10K, and man, where I was at 1K, and where I was at the beginning. So I'm really excited. Thursday night, the Los Angeles Rams defeated the New England Patriots 24-3. For the Patriots, Cam Newton was 9 of 16 for 119 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception for a QBR of 2.9 and a rating of 53.9. Harris carried the rock 11 times for 50 yards. N'Keal Harry had 3 receptions for 49 yards. For the Los Angeles Rams, Jared Goff was 16 of 25 for 137 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for a QBR of 46.7 and a rating of 74.9. Cam Akers went off. Cam Akers carried the rock 29 times for 171 yards. Yeah, they could not stop him. Higbee had 2 receptions for 34 yards. Cooper Kupp had 5 receptions for 33 yards and a touchdown. So this game, LA really established the run, and that's really the key. The key for them, I think, is going to be establishing the run. Their defense is elite, fantastic. Aaron Donald is a beast, and they're pretty good on the corner as well with Jalen Ramsey. But their defense as a unit, really good, really strong, and they're really going to benefit from establishing the run. I think against any opponent, that should be their goal, is to establish the run, because it helps out Jared Goff. Jared Goff is he's made some poor turnovers this season, some bad throws, some interceptions, some fumbles. So that's really just gonna help everyone out, establishing the run, that you can run off play action. Sean McVay's a really good play caller, so a big win for the Rams too. The Rams improved to 9-4 and are on top of the NFC West now. And New England falls to 6-7. Moving on here to Sunday's games. The Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Miami Dolphins 33-27. For the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes was 24 of 34 for 393 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions for a QBR of 66.4 and a rating of 91.9. Tyreek Hill carried the rock 1 time for 32 yards and a touchdown. Travis Kelce had 8 receptions for 136 yards and a touchdown. Have a day. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill also had 3 receptions for 79 yards and a touchdown. For the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa was 28 of 48 for 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for a QBR of 31.3 and a rating of 83.3. Washington carried the rock 13 times for 35 yards. Tua also carried the rock 6 times for 24 yards and a touchdown. Bowden had 7 receptions for 82 yards. Hollins had 5 receptions for 66 yards. Gesicki had 5 receptions for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. This was a good game. Miami came out in the first quarter, picked off Patrick Mahomes twice in the first quarter, and had a 10-0 lead. But as we all know, the Chiefs, are the Chiefs. So they went on to score 30 unanswered. So they were up 30-10 then in the third quarter, and it looked like it was all over with. But Miami made a little bit of a comeback in the fourth quarter. Picked off Patrick Mahomes again. The pick by Xavier Howard was disgusting. I think the Colts had a pick this week also. That was insane. But it was just like one hand. He just reached up there and just hauled it in with one hand. And they made it a game. They made it a game. It was 24-30. Then with 4 minutes left in the game, they closed to 30-24. And ended up losing 33-27. It was a little bit of a roller coaster game. Miami jumping out 10-0, and then Kansas City coming back up 30-10, and then Miami coming back, closing it in within a touchdown. But ultimately, the defending champs prevailed. They improved to 12-1. They now hold the 1 seed in the AFC because Pittsburgh lost for the second week in a row. Miami falls to 8-5. The Denver Broncos defeated the Carolina Panthers 32-27. For the Broncos, Drew Lock was 21 of 27 for 280 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 86.6 and a rating of 149.5. Melvin Gordon carried the rock 13 times for 68 yards. KJ Hamler had 2 receptions for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. Have a day, Hamler. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. For the Carolina Panthers, Teddy Bridgewater was 30 of 40 for 283 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 48.6 and a rating of 94.1. Davis carried the rock 11 times for 51 yards and 2 touchdowns. Robbie Anderson had 8 receptions for 84 yards. Denver improves to 5-8. Carolina falls to 4-9. No playoff implications here. The Chicago Bears defeated the Houston Texans 36-7. Handled the Bears. The Bears handled the Texans 36-7. For Houston, Deshaun Watson was 21 of 30 for 219 yards and 1 touchdown, no interceptions for a QBR of 60.3 and a rating of 101.9. Howell carried the rock 11 times for 42 yards. Hansen had 7 receptions for 56 yards. For the Bears, Mitchell Trubisky was 24 of 33 for 267 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 67.8 and a rating of 126.7. David Montgomery carried the rock 11 times for 113 yards and a touchdown, including an 80-yarder. That'll help out the old average, won't it? 10 yards per carry, 80-yard run, nice. Robinson had 9 receptions for 123 yards and a touchdown. Chicago improves to 6-7. Houston falls to 4-9. Unlikely that there are any playoff implications in this game. Chicago's not eliminated, but I think that they're a long shot to make the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 30-7. Andy Dalton coming back to Cincinnati. He played all right. 16 of 23 for 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 67.6 and a rating of 122.6. Ezekiel Elliott carried the rock 12 times for 48 yards. Amari Cooper had 4 receptions for 51 yards and a touchdown. For Cincinnati, Allen was 27 of 36 for 217 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions for a QBR of 77.7 and a rating of 99. Williams had 12 carries for 49 yards. A.J. Green had 6 receptions for 62 yards and a touchdown. Cincinnati falls to 2-10-1. Dallas improves to 4-9. An uphill battle for the Cowboys as well to make the playoffs. We'll see what happens in the next couple weeks here. The Arizona Cardinals snapped their losing streak against the New York Giants. They defeat the New York Giants 26-7. For Arizona, Kyler Murray was 24 of 35 for 244 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions for a QBR of 62.2 and a rating of 97.8. Kenyon Drake carried the rock 23 times for 80 yards and a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins had 9 receptions for 136 yards. For the Giants, Daniel Jones back this week. He did not look good though. 11 of 21 for 127 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 9 and a rating of 70.9. Colt McCoy did end up coming in to finish the game. Wayne Gallman carried the rock 12 times for 57 yards. Golden Tate had 1 reception for 39 yards. Arizona gets a much-needed win to improve to 7-6, and the Giants fall to 5-8. Still have a chance to win the NFC East. I think it's looking like it's going to be between the Giants and the football team for the NFC East there. That was a much-needed win for Arizona, though, after dropping 3 straight. Their first win since the Hail Murray against Buffalo. Much needed. Alright, moving on here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeated the Minnesota Vikings 26-14. For Minnesota, Kirk Cousins was 24 of 37 for 225 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions for a QBR of 61.1, and a rating of 90.5. Dalvin Cook carried the rock 22 times for 102 yards and a touchdown. Smith had 4 receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown. For Tampa Bay, Tom Brady was 15 of 23 for 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 83.9 and a rating of 120.9. Ronald Jones carried the rock 18 times for 80 yards and a touchdown. Mike Evans had 3 receptions for 56 yards. Tampa Bay improves to 8-5 and Minnesota falls to 6-7. The Tennessee Titans defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh my goodness, Derrick Henry. The Tennessee Titans defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-10. For Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill was 19 of 24 for 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 73.2 and a rating of 131.2. Derrick Henry have a day. 26 carries for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 47-yarder. A.J. Brown had 7 receptions for 112 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown was a sick catch as well, one-handed catch. Again, when you establish the run, great things usually happen for you. For Jacksonville, Gardner Minshew was 18 of 31 for 178 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions for a QBR of 50.3 and a rating of 85.1. Robinson carried the rock 12 times for 67 yards. Cole had 7 receptions for 67 yards and a touchdown. Tennessee's in a good spot now. They improved to 9-4. Jacksonville falls to 1-12. The Indianapolis Colts defeated the Las Vegas Raiders, murdered 44-27. Phillip Rivers for the Colts was 19 of 28 for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 85.8 and a rating of 118.7. Jonathan Taylor carried the rock 20 times for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. T.Y. Hilton had 5 receptions for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. For the Raiders, Derek Carr was 31 of 45 for 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for a QBR of 74.4 and a rating of 85. Josh Jacobs carried the rock 13 times for 49 yards. Nelson Aguilar had 5 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown. The meltdown continues in Las Vegas. Indianapolis improves to 9-4. Vegas falls to 7-6. Their playoff hopes starting to dwindle a little bit there in Vegas. We'll see what happens with the Ravens, with the Browns, and with the Dolphins in the next few weeks. We'll see if the Raiders can hold on and have a playoff spot in the AFC or not. Alright, the Seattle Seahawks destroyed the New York Jets 40-3. Much needed win for the Seahawks. For the Jets, Sam Darnold was 14 of 26 for 132 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 40.9 and a rating of 68.1. I mean, just terrible offensive numbers here for the Jets. I'm not even going to go over the rest. For the Seahawks, though, Russell Wilson was 21 of 27 for 206 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception for a QBR of 84.1 and a rating of 122.6. Chris Carson carried the rock 12 times for 76 yards and a touchdown. DK Metcalf had 6 receptions for 61 yards and a touchdown. Like I said, a must-win for Seattle against a terrible Jets team, and they took care of business as they should have. All right, next up we have the Green Bay Packers defeating the Detroit Lions 31-24. Good game. The Packers look good. I know Detroit played them pretty close, but Aaron Rodgers was 26 of 33 for 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions for a QBR of 89.3 and a rating of 133.6. Aaron Jones carried the rock 15 times for 69 yards. Devontae Adams had 7 receptions for 115 yards and a touchdown. Seahawks might be. For the Detroit Lions, Matt Stafford was 24 of 34 for 244 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions for a QBR of 72.9 and a rating of 100.6. DeAndre Swift carried the rock 7 times for 24 yards and a touchdown. Danny Amendola had 6 receptions for 66 yards. Green Bay improves to 10-3. Detroit falls to 5-8. Green Bay now. The Green Bay Packers are now in the driver's seat in the NFC playoff picture. They're in first place. And they look good. They look pretty good. And they're in first place because the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the New Orleans Saints 24-21. I did not see this one coming at all. For the Saints, Taysom Hill was 28 of 38 for 291 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for a QBR of 65.1 and a rating of 102. Alvin Kamara carried the rock 11 times for 50 yards and a touchdown. Michael Thomas had 8 receptions for 84 yards. For the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts was 17 of 30 for 167 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, for a QBR of 58.5 and a rating of 83.6. Miles Sanders carried the rock 14 times for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts carried the rock 18 times for 106 yards. Jalen Reagor had 2 receptions for 46 yards. Okay. The Saints defense has been balling out lately. Like the last 3 weeks, especially really balling out. So I did not see this one coming, and they had a streak of 50 games, 50 games. The Saints defense went without allowing a 100-yard rusher, and they allowed 2 100-yard rushers in this game right here. Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts giving Philly a little bit of a spark. I don't know if he'll be able to continue with it, but they ran the ball very well as a team. 36 carries for 246 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a good sign. That is a good sign. Again, I don't know. Washington is in the driver's seat right now in that trash division, because they defeated the San Francisco 49ers 23-15. Really, the defense in Washington's looking pretty good, especially that front four. But for the football team, Alex Smith did get injured in this game. I actually don't know how bad it was or what the injury was. I did not get to see this game. But before he went out, he was 8 of 19 for 57 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. Then Dwayne Haskins came in with 7 of 12 for 51 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. They really did not do anything offensively. Anything noteworthy offensively. J.D. McKissick carried the rock 11 times for 68 yards. Logan Thomas had 6 receptions for 43 yards. For the San Francisco 49ers, Nick Mullins was 25 of 45 for 260 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for a QBR of 21.9 and a rating of 70.6. Raheem Mostert carried the rock 14 times for 65 yards. Brandon Ayuk had 10 receptions for 119 yards. He had a pretty nice day. But the story is the Washington football team defense. Okay, they had 2 touchdowns. They had a fumble. Chase Young had a fumble return for 47 yards. Beast, by the way. And then Curl had a 76-yard interception return. And then they had like a couple of field goals also. So no offensive touchdowns, 2 defensive touchdowns. And it was enough to get them the dub this week, 23-15. So Washington now improves to 6-7, and San Francisco falls to 5-8. The Los Angeles Chargers defeated the Atlanta Falcons 20-17. No playoff implications here, but Matt Ryan was 21 of 32 for 224 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions for a QBR of 41.1 and a rating of 57.3. Smith carried the rock 11 times for 42 yards. Calvin Ridley had 8 receptions for 124 yards Chargers, Justin Herbert was 36 of 44 for 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for a QBR of 77.8 and a rating of 95.4. Austin Eckler carried the rock 15 times for 79 yards. He also had 9 receptions for 67 yards. Keenan Allen also had 9 receptions for 52 yards and a touchdown. The Chargers improved to 4-9. The Falcons fall to 4-9. Alright, last night, the Buffalo Bills defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 26-15 in a good game. Ben Roethlisberger was 21 of 37 for 187 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for a QBR of 32.4 and a rating of 65.9. James Conner carried the rock 10 times for 18 yards. Juju Smith-Schuster had 6 receptions for 55 yards and a touchdown. You can see the problems right there. That Pittsburgh can't run the ball. Only 47 yards rushing as a team. Not a good recipe for success if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. For the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen was 24 of 43 for 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for a QBR of 78.5 and a rating of 77.5. Moss carried the rock 13 times for 43 yards. Stephon Diggs had a night. Stephon Diggs had 10 receptions for 130 yards and a touchdown, saving my fantasy team once again. Buffalo improves to 10-3. Pittsburgh falls to 11-2. They dropped 2 in a row now. They lost to the Washington football team last week. And now the Buffalo Bills, and they've lost the number 1 seed in the AFC. It belongs to the Kansas City Chiefs now, so bad time to be collapsing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but did have a couple injuries on the defense that hurt them, and not being able to run the ball hurt them, and the Bills are a good team. It was a little bit sloppy early on. Both teams kind of turned the ball over back and forth a couple times in the first half, and then in the second half, really, the Bills went to Stephon Diggs. It was like the Stephon Diggs show. It was Josh Allen to Diggs, like multiple times. They couldn't stop him. And yeah, Buffalo took control, and Buffalo's in very good position now to win their division because Miami lost and New England lost, and then the Jets are the other team in that division. So Buffalo's in really good shape right now, and Pittsburgh's still in good shape, but you don't want to be giving up that number 1 seed, that first round bye in the playoffs. So unfortunate for Pittsburgh that happened. They dropped 2 in a row, but they better find a way to get back on track next week. And then tonight, the Cleveland Browns play the Baltimore Ravens. Huge game here. It's really a must-have for Baltimore. Baltimore is 7-0.